Hello, hello. We're we're playing Smoke Room today. If you've been on the channel for a while, like when I first started, and by that I mean like a couple months ago, started putting up videos, you might remember I had streams of Smoke Room up. I've since taken those down for various reasons. One mostly for quality. Like, I didn't know what settings and stuff to do back then, so there was a couple parts where the audio was horribly fucked or the resolution was off. So we're just going to wipe that slate clean. Just get rid of those, do a fresh one. And it feels like now's a really good time to do it because Build 17 came out. This is 16. Because I don't have any money, so I'm not on their Patreon. But that means in a couple of weeks it'll be up for free. So I figured I'd catch up so I can play the new build. So I can record for the new build once that's all said and done. But also, I'm by myself. If you watch other things on the channel, you'll know that I have an Echo playthrough, which I'm doing with my friend Darian, and he's not gonna be here for Smoke Room because he's homophobic and doesn't want to play a gay furry game with on-screen sex and lots of dicks. So there's that. So I'm gonna be by myself. So we're just gonna start. Oh, I still love that, where it's just when you start the game, you're just in it with the CG already. It's there. It's great. It's great. Tired. I'm tired of scraping by every day. I'm tired of hiding in the back of this whorehouse. I'm tired of another broken, crumbling building around me. I'm tired of the work I do. I'm tired of this town. I'm just tired. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try to change things, it just feels like I'm moving in circles here. See, they put it in. It's good. It's good. Yeah. An endless circle. That's what this shithole of a town is. But I'm getting out tonight. I glare out at the sunset, the setting sun, wondering what possessed me to settle into this desert. Even with my undershirt off, I'm pouring sweat under my fur, and I can feel it trickling down between my shoulder blades. Thank God it's Sunday. Otherwise, I just have to hope my first customer likes that sort of thing. I've had a few, actually. I stand there for a while longer, finally deciding that the sun's set enough for me to start getting ready. I move from the balcony to the hallway, then to my room. I move around quietly. For some reason, the idea of what I'm about to do makes me feel like I gotta keep it all secret. Sure, they can't just keep me here, but I know they don't want me to leave. I pull on my clothes, button up my shirt, and pulling my suspenders over my shoulders. Then I stand quietly next to the door, listening. It's mostly quiet. I can hear the girls laughing and talking a ways away, probably down in the empty saloon. Good. Quietly, I make my way to the corner of my room. Just behind the bed. Kneeling down, I work my claws between the floorboards, knowing exactly which one I want because I've memorized the pattern of the wood grain. I pull it up while pulling a face at the squeaking, groaning noise it makes. A loud shrieking sound from below makes me jump and freeze, listening. But I realize that's just one of the girls laughing, probably drunk. Holding my breath, I stick my free paw down through the small space, I've made between the floorboards and feel around. I keep holding my breath until I feel the 3 flat pieces of cold metal stacked on top of each other. Using my claws again, I pick them up, careful not to drop them because I've already done that, and the sound they make would bring everyone running. Slowly, I lower the floorboard again, feeling a little less tense since I think they're drunk enough that they won't even remember I'm up here. I kneel on the floor, looking at the 1 gold eagle and the 2 double eagles resting on my paw pad. It's odd thinking that these 3 coins represent everything that I've worked for the past 2 years. $50, and if Jack really knows what he's doing, it's enough to get me out of this, get the hell out of here. The door slams open, and I jump a foot into the air, even though I'm on my knees. Jesus! I manage to close my paws in time so the coins don't go rolling across the floor, clutching them to my chest as I freeze on the spot. Sammy! Enough hiding away up here. Come downstairs. What are you doing? I still haven't looked back, holding both paws into my chest as I try to hold my breath. Try to get my breathing under control. I'm praying. I look back to Cynthia, giving me a look like she doesn't believe me at all. You pray? Of course I pray. Well, I mean the down on your knees and clap your paws to heaven kind of pray. I sigh, trying to sound annoyed even though I'm just scared she's going to see what I'm doing. I put 1 foot on the ground under me, and as I come up and turn to face the fox, I slide the coins as smooth as I can into my right pocket. Cynthia frowns as I turn to her. You all right, Sam? You look a little shaken up. Thank God, the girl somehow hadn't noticed, and I finally feel my heart starting to calm down a little bit. I fold my arms, glaring. Well, that's 'cause you busted in here without even a knock. Sorry about that. Just kind of forgot to. Me and the other girls really don't really do it. I think the real reason is that she's a bit canned from drinking down in the saloon with the others. I'll remember next time. Anyway, come on down. We're all having such a good time. I sigh and shake my head. Not tonight. Cynthia sighs. Oh, stop being so down all the time. Besides, we're, talking about you. That perks my ears. Why? Well, you know, there's this weasel in town. He's from Batavia, and apparently he's made an appointment here. The fox bounces up and down excitedly, paws up to her muzzle. So what? Oh, Sam, as I said, he's from Batavia, and he made the appointment with you. I bristle. How do you know that? Well, I don't look at the list. I never do. I never would, but Gabriella did, yeah. That's the snake girl, right? Yeah. She seems like she would. Oh, the fox grins again, and I push my paws to my face, sighing in frustration. You know how much trouble you could get into for that? You'd lose me my whole business if it got out that you guys are snooping on my clients. Not that it matters anymore. Again, it wasn't me that did it, and it was a one-time thing to see who was getting the weasel. We didn't expect it to be you. Doesn't make it right. No, it doesn't. Now come downstairs. I sigh. No, I'm heading out for the night. This room's too stuffy. Think the evening air will do me some good. Cynthia gives me a look, one that I've seen more than I can count. Fine. But you should try to show your face around more often. That's the first step to building your clientele. She tells me this like I haven't heard it 1,000 times before, but again, it doesn't really matter now. You know, mine are different. They find me. I can tell I'm wearing the fox out. and in her buzzed state, she gives up on me quicker than usual. Well, I'm going back downstairs. You're always welcome to join us, believe it or not. Most of us like you. Yeah. As she's about to turn the corner, I suddenly remember how this might be the last time I ever see her. And thanks. I blurted out awkwardly, not used to saying it. And Cynthia's not used to hearing it, based on how she leaned back around the doorframe, a confused look on her face. Yeah, don't worry about it. You alright, Sam? I curse myself for sounding so damn suspicious, but I keep a straight face, shrugging. Like I said, it's stuffy in here. Makes me feel like I'm going crazy, but thanks for making an effort. Sure, Sam. Stay safe on those streets. I will. Cynthia disappears behind the doorframe, and I realize that I'm sad to see her go. She's one of the few people I'm gonna miss here, aside from a few of my clients. Which clients are those? Is it Nikolai? I shove the few bits of clothes and belongings I have into an old knapsack I found on the side of the road a few months ago. I take a last look around my room, glad for once that I don't own much. It'll make what I'm about to do a hell of a lot easier. With that, I carefully make my way down the stairs, listening to my chattering coworkers as I turn the corner and take the back exit through the empty kitchen. It's the time of the night that the typical crowds of the day switch out for the typical crowds of the night. Men talk and shout in little clustered groups in front of the saloons. They don't bother with the Sunday law. The streetwalkers stand in alleys and doorways, waiting for any of the drunk men wandering the streets to notice them. The lowest of the low, and even if I manage to find a spot in the most reputable brothel in town, I feel like I'm one of them. I walk quickly through the streets, head down, paw in pockets, the way I always walk. I always keep it usually keeps attention away, even with my attention grabbing white fur. I look up a few times, trying to make sure I'm headed in the right direction, not used to this part of town. Jack had wanted me to meet up with him near the mine since he apparently needs me to help him with something before we hop the midnight train. I feel a little thrill in my chest at the idea that, by sunrise, Eckel will be far behind me. Oh, Samuel. On my way to a life on the West Coast where I can start over the right way. I actually have to stop myself from skipping, excited for the first time since I started planning all this. And can you imagine that? Like, Samuel skipping? Like, oh my god. Oh. I still feel guilty leaving everyone behind. Madame Dora for giving me a place to stay and work. William and Nikolai for just listening to me. Cynthia for being a friend. Oh yeah, like William's a regular customer? Yeah, let's go with that. But everyone gets their chance to get out of this town someday. And this is my chance. If you miss that chance, then you miss it. Then you're stuck. At least that's what I've been told about this place. True or not, I'm not going to miss mine. The buildings become fewer as I get closer to the mine, the dirt road becoming harder to discern from the sagebrush-covered wilderness. I feel better, though, being away from all the light of the people. It makes me feel protected somehow. But there is a small light ahead of me, and I know right away that it's Jack with his lantern, right where he said he'd be. Relief floods through me, having had suspicions that I'd been duped somehow up until this point. I'd only known the man for a week, and he'd approached me with the idea of pooling our fortunes and making a break for the coast. So seeing him now with the gas lantern held up, a grin on his face, it's really going to happen. His expression is infectious, so I smile back sheepishly, raising a paw. Jack. Oh, okay. Ugh. Yeah, Renpy's not the best engine sometimes. Either that or I have way too many programs open, which could be the case. Howdy, Sam. How are you? How are you this fine evening? I'm better now that I'm out of that pit. The older man claps me on the back on the back hard, and even though he's a good deal smaller and less muscular than I, it almost makes me stumble. And you'll never have to look back again. How does that feel? I take a deep breath. Good, I think. I don't really know yet. That's normal. I've done it a few times myself. Hopefully this will be the last time now that I've got myself a partner. That paw on my back moves to wrap around my side, pulling me in to a side hug. I feel my spirits lift a bit. If this man is always this friendly, then maybe our little partnership will work out after all. Even though he's been my customer only twice over the past week, he's talked to me about things more personal than any of my clients have, including William. He was understanding, witty, and on top of that, good at what we do before all the talking. Okay. He even taught me a few tricks that would help keep my other customers coming back. So, that all you got? So you got all of your stuff? Yeah, I didn't even read. Ugh, wow. Yep. I turned to show him the beaten up knapsack on my back. Ha, not carrying much, are you? No worries. We'll build a life for you soon enough. And the money? I paused, almost panicking because I forgot for just a second where I put the coins. Then I shoved my paw into my pocket to pull them out. Jack raises his lantern, examining the eagle and double eagles in my paw. He whistles. Been a while since I've seen a double, no less too. Good work, boy. He slaps me back again, and I have to close my paw quickly to avoid dropping them. I push them back into my pocket, prodding my fingers around just to make sure there aren't any holes in there, so they don't that I don't know about. At the same time, I look up at the sky, guessing that it's probably about 9 in the evening. That would give us a few hours before the train comes through, though I have to be there as soon as possible so we don't miss it. Despite the relief I just felt, the thought of hopping a train soon has me getting nervous all over again. What, you think you'll fuck up trying to jump onto a train and get your legs cut off? I mean, what are the chances of that happening? Last time I did, I almost slipped under the wheels. Well... So, what was it you needed to help with? Well... Jack sets a free paw on his hip, grinning at me. I struck big in the mine. I frown. What? Samuel, I found gold in the mine. I stare at the other man, confused. How? As far as I know, you need stuff, machinery, or something to get the gold out. How did Jack have that all to himself? He moves closer. See? This is what I wanted to tell you about. I didn't dig it up. Someone left some gold in a few bags that they already done mined. I go on, staring, hardly believing what I'm hearing. I know. Looks like they've been there a long time. It's in a part of the mine that no one goes to anymore. I think they just forgot about them back in the day. Jack started walking up the path towards the mine, and I'm left staring after him for a few seconds before I quickly start to follow, trying to find the words to stay. But, how could anyone forget something like that? I see that man's bony shoulders lift up and down in a shrug. Who the hell knows? But listen, there's a bag of stuff. I think it'll be enough. I think it's enough to, well, let us live rich for the rest of our lives, like real rich. I'm silent, stunned. I can't believe what I just heard. How could anyone? Jack just... No, excuse me. Jack just told me he found something that could change my life completely. Not just move to the coast, but move there and live rich. It's something I've never even considered. I'm quiet until Jack takes a left turn, off to the path and into the brush, even though the entrance to the mine is 100 feet straight ahead of us. I stand there on the path for a few seconds, looking back and forth between him and the mine. Jack? Come on, boy. We don't have much time. I hesitate, then force myself forward, cursing as I start stepping on the sharp stones hidden beneath the sagebrush. What are you doing? Where are you going? You see? Jack starts up the side of the big hill that the mine entrance is attached to, the slanted ground adding to the treachery? I think that's what that is. Treachery of walking blindly through the wilderness. There are still miners in the main stretch of the mine, even though it's Sunday. This is why I left it there until now. We're about to grab it and get the hell out of town before anyone can get their dirty paws on it. Oh. I have to tug my tail free, so as it gets caught between twigs in this brush, making me grimace. Is it far? It's right here. Jack turns to face a slight outcrop of the boulder in the side of the hill, almost hidden by the brush that's growing around it. He set a lamp down at the base of the boulder, and then starts jumping up to try and climb up one of them. Here. I easily pull myself up to the side of the boulder, and Jack chuckles as he lifts the lantern up towards me. I'm getting too old to do anything these days. Now I know that's not true. I set the lantern down next to me before reaching back down to lift Jack up by his paw. He pats me on the back again before grabbing the lantern and turning around. Behind the boulder is a little drop that leads into what looks like a small fissure in the side of the hill. What is this? Jack grins in the light of the lantern. Secret little back entrance. How the hell did you find it? Jack had been working in the mines for a few weeks, yet he'd been able to figure all this out. Few of the others know. Just had to talk to him. Jack leaves the lantern on the ledge of the boulder before sliding down into the little space, turning around and reaching up again for me to lower it down to him. I slid down after him and immediately feel a gust of cool, musty air coming from the inside of the opening. Okay. You know, I'm gonna turn off some of my other there we go. Just gonna turn off some of the other programs. Hopefully that'll prevent that stuff from happening. I don't know. It feels damn good compared to the heat outside. When I look down the little tunnel ahead of us, though, I start to feel a little more unsure of what's happening here. Jack just goes on ahead, though, confident as he always is. So I follow him. Watch your head, Sam. You're big enough to get a knock from up there. There we go. Sorry, I was adjusting something on the microphone. Words, please, come to me. I do as he says, glancing up and ducking under dips in the ceiling that comes down every now and then. We come to a branch in our tunnel, and Jack immediately goes left. Then we go left, then right, then... Hey, you know where we are. We could get lost. I know exactly where we are. Don't worry your pretty little kitty head about that. He's still got that cheerful sound in his voice, but it's getting me a little riled up considering the type of situation we're in. Still, he doesn't hesitate at any of the branches in the tunnel, so I have to assume he knows what he's doing. He works here after all. The tunnels are a lot narrower than I always imagined them to be. And I wonder if it's just the way its specific part of the mine is. Neck definitely wouldn't be able to fit through some of these passages. Jack comes to an abrupt stop so that I almost run into him. He's standing in front of the little opening in the wall, even smaller than the one we came through. He breathlessly holds up the lantern to it, mostly like it's holy or something. "Here it is, Sam. Here it is." His excitement is getting me going a little bit, but I eye the dark opening with a frown. "I don't think I'm going to fit through there." "It's the same size as the whole way through. You'll make it, but you'll have to turn those big ol' shoulders sideways." He reached up and patted my chest, approximately appreciatively. That's the word. I got there before walking through the opening, able to do so without turning sideways. I shimmy through the opening, careful not to scratch myself on any of the jagged bits in the walls. This tunnel is a lot shorter, thank God, but the air becomes thick and a lot mustier. And now I completely believe, Jack, that this is some abandoned part of the mine, probably from when they first started it up. The lantern gaslight disappears for a moment as I realize that Jack has made it through the other side, and that's when I break through, finally able to breathe easy in the wider space when we came into. Ah, there it is. That's a familiar background. I think that part of the playthrough is already uploaded, so yeah. Though I'm like scheduling things like a week or more in advance now because I'm becoming a pro at this. So by the time this shows up, that like Leo's route has been like uploaded and gone, and probably everyone's like moved on, and whatever. Looking around, though, this is just a tiny little hollow, smaller than the size of the room. There are a few things laying around, though, a shovel and a pickaxe against the wall, what looks like a tin can in the corner, and finally, a few bags at the far end of the hollow, looking full and lopsided. I noticed that Jack's breathing heavy, and considering how we weren't really exerting ourselves at all, I can only imagine it's from excitement. There! Jack points at the bags, and I can see that even his paw is shaking. I swallow hard and start moving towards the bags. Really? They're all filled up? They're the size of my head, and it seems impossible that all that could be gold. Yes, look at them! I let out a short little laugh that just comes out of me because I still can't believe any of this. At least not until I see it. So I crouch down in front of one of the bags, grabbing the drooping opening, which I lift up and spread open to peer inside. Rocks. I squint at them, wondering if maybe the gold is stuck inside of them or something. That would explain the ridiculous amount, but I don't see anything glinting. I start to ask Jack to bring the lantern closer. Hey, can you? I believe in you. Oh, did the program just crash? That would be lit. Ah, a bit of some technical difficulties. Yeah, the game crashed. That was unfortunate, but we're back. It's fine. It's fine. An explosion goes off in my head. It shakes my entire body, my entire world. Everything stops, and I can't think. Actually, I am conscious of one thing, and that's my teeth clacking together like someone just punched me in the chin. But it's not coming from the front of my head. It's the back. Then the world comes back to me, and I realize I'm still crouching over the bag somehow, but my shoulders are all bunched up. My head leaning back into the muscles in my neck are cramping. I gasp really loud like I'm drowning, and I slowly bring my paws up to where the explosion happened. They go automatically to the back of my head, between where my neck and skull meet. I just sit there for a few seconds, confused as hell, wondering if something fell from the ceiling as I go on staring at the bag. You big son of a bitch! Then another explosion, a little higher so that it hits my head and my paws. This time I can feel my body go all stiff in the strangest way, my legs straightening out, which pushes me away from the bag and onto my back. Then I see my arm sticking up, paws reaching towards the ceiling. Like a goddamn brick shit house. I blink at the sky above me in confusion, wondering why it's so yellow and dirty. I keep blinking at it, waiting for it to go back to blue or black with stars, whatever time it is. I can hear someone next to me, moving around, then I feel something on my hip, someone tugging at my pants. Now where'd you put him? He's mumbling over me, and I recognize the voice as Jack's, but what is Jack doing? The mine. I reach down to cover up my pocket, trying to ask him what the hell he's doing, but all that comes out is this garbled moan that doesn't sound like me at all. No, pause down or I'll hit you again. It takes a second, but I manage to focus on the smaller man leaning over me, one paw fishing around in my pocket while the other holds a shovel. I start to ask again and what he's doing, but then his paw yanks out of the mine and he lets out a little laugh that's so loud and high-pitched that it makes me flinch. Ha! There they are! I can't see what he's holding, but I hear the clink of coins, and everything comes back to me in a waterfall of confusion, hurt, and most of all, anger. I lunge up and grab at his arm, coming up far too short as a wave of sickening pain shoots through my head and back down my back. He dodged me easily. Down, pussycat. I don't wanna, but I'll give you another one if you don't just stay lying on the ground. The man moves away towards his lantern while I stay sat down, patting a paw to the back of my head with a moan. His shadow blocks out the light, and I realized exactly what Jack is doing. He's going to try to leave me here, lost in the mines, while he takes off with my money, everything that I have. I snarl, works its way out of my my throat, and almost without me even thinking about it, I'm pouncing after him, just as he's done to pick up the lantern. My paws smash into his back, right between his shoulder blades. Like he kept mentioning, I'm a hell of a lot bigger than him, and he goes down like a broken matchstick, belly flopping into the dirt. Ah! I hear him lose his breath, and before he can do anything else, I slam my fist into the side of his face as hard as I can, 4 or 5 times. He hollers after the first, but goes quiet after the third, sizing up under me. I sit there on top of him, gasping for breath, still wondering what the hell is just happening. As I stare down at Jack, as his fluttering eyelids and the blood coming out of his mouth, I realize how stupid I am. So goddamn stupid. Most people probably would have seen this coming a mile away, but I thought I knew Jack. At least as much as you know a person in a week. The thought of so much gold, of living rich, I've been completely blinded by the thought of it. Jack starts to groan under louder and move around more, so I reach over to his right paw, forcing it open and grabbing my coins. I clutch them protectively to my chest as I stand up, feeling a sudden wave of dizziness as I do. I stumble toward the opening, then rest against it for a moment, catching my breath, waiting for my blurry eyes to focus. The sharp pain in my head is gone now, replaced by a deep throb that penetrates all the way from the back of my neck to the back of my eyes. I reach up to rub it again, and my paw comes away wet and bloody. I start to worry that I might be more hurt than I thought. I need to get help. Have someone look at it, but first I need to find my way out of this damn mine. I start to push my way through the opening again, but then I remember that I need a lamp. I turn around to find Jack already up, moving towards me, just 5 feet away, this time the pickaxe in his paw. Dully, I wonder if it's the throbbing, rushing sound in my ears that had kept me from hearing him, but I don't have time to think anything else as he rushes at me, thrusting the head of the pick at my face. He doesn't say anything this time, just screams. I flinch and raise my paws, but also let my feet go out from under me, and that's what saves me as I land hard on my rear, and I hear the metal hit the hard wall of the cave behind me. The drop sends a wave of pain through my head. That's so bad I gag and almost throw up, but then I see Jack raising the pickaxe above his head, ready to bring it down on me. He's gonna kill me. Even after what happened, I find that almost impossible to believe. But there it is in front of me. The man I thought was my friend, silhouetted by the lamp's dim light, the muscles under his fur bunching up, a snarl of fury on his face. I scream, raising my paws to protect myself, coins falling to the ground as the thought of being run through with a pick sends fear through me like I've never known. Don't! Don't! As he raises it, it knocks against the ceiling of the hollow, and Jack starts adjusting the angle of the pick. I know this is my only chance, and I push myself forward off the ground at him, running into him while I grab at his weapon. He panics and swings too late, the wooden handle landing weakly against my forearm. As I reach up and grab it, we both snarl and growl as I pin him to the wall, keeping his weapon above his head with both paws, trying to lift it from his grasp. He's got a good hold on it, though. At least until he takes his right paw away to try and punch at my side. I'm so tense from anger and fear that I don't feel anything, and with one of his paws gone, I'm able to yank it from him. I stumble back as he drops down. He looks up at me. Our eyes meet. I bring the head of the pickaxe up and smash him right in the forehead as hard as I can. The sound is deep and sickening, like ice cracking on a frozen river. When I pull the pickaxe away, his expression is completely different, his eyes empty and distant. He leans there a moment, then his body suddenly spasms and goes ramrod straight before sliding sideways down the wall to lay on his back. I see his paws twitch into fists, pulling up to his chest before he gives this big, heavy sigh. Then he stops breathing altogether. I stare down at him, my chest heaving, the pick hanging loosely in my paw as I wait. Jack? He doesn't move. Not at all. Just from the looks of him, I can tell that he's dead. I keep staring, my mind still trying to figure how I got here from just 10 minutes ago. But no matter how much I stare, nothing changes in front of me. Jack is dead on the ground. I feel a chill run up my spine, and there's this feeling of dread that seems to start pulling up from the earth into my legs and up into my stomach. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm being watched. Like I just woke something up, and it's watching me now. I drop the pick and back away from Jack, my nerves failing me, unable to crouch down to check if he's dead. Despite everything I've been through, I've never seen anyone dead before. Shakily, I turn away from him, looking around. I need to get my money and get the hell out of here. If I get caught like this, the men here won't need much more of a reason to hang a whore like me. I reach out for the lamp that's been sitting on the ground peacefully this whole time. I'm still unsteady, still shaky, so when I try to lift up the wire handle, I knock the whole thing over. Instantly, the flame goes out. I stare in shock at the sudden, complete blackness before fumbling for the lantern. as if lifting it up is going to make it light again. Oh, Samuel. Instead, I just touched the heated glass, making me hiss as I burned the pads of my index and middle finger. The shape of the now dead flame burns into my vision, is the only thing I can see now. No. No, no, no. I whisper into the blackness, suddenly realizing how deep I am into all this. I don't know the way out to begin with, and now with no light. I try to keep calm, swallowing hard. I know straight ahead of me is the opening that leads back into the mine. Jack had said something about others knowing about this place. Maybe I could run into someone, or just find my way out. We didn't walk that long, did we? I walk carefully forward, pause reaching out until I find the wall. From there, I paw around until I find the small opening that leads onto the main tunnel. Knowing I dropped my coins here, I go down on my knees and start to feel around for them. Please, please let me find them. I whisper to myself, to God, to nothing, begging my paws to feel the cold metal. I can't have been searching for more than a minute when something suddenly glides up my spine, like a finger being drawn up my back. Then, breath in my ear. I let out an involuntary scream, turning over on my back and scrambling backwards until I'm up against the wall, a rod of pain sticking through my brain as I do. Jack? I stare wide-eyed into the darkness, at the spot where I left him, listening, my heart about to pound out of my chest. I've never been more scared in my entire life. Something shifts in the hollow with me, further to the right from where I started. I flinch, ears flat against my head. Jack? I call out again, actually hoping that the man is still alive, that this isn't something else, whatever that might be. Because it feels like something else. A few moments of silence go by, so I start to turn over, and that's when I feel something lean over my shoulder. I shriek in a way that I've never done before, scratching at the wall in front of me, desperately trying to find the opening. When I do, I force my way through, my shoulders scraping painfully against the walls. I don't understand. Something's coming after me through this tiny crevice, and it's not Jack. It's definitely not Jack. I burst through the other side, my face meeting the hard dirt wall of the larger tunnel, my head snapping back and leaving my nose stinging. I stumble to my right in the direction that I know we came from. I've never had trouble seeing in the dark, but this is complete, inky blackness, and there's nothing for me to be able to see. Help! Someone help me! I don't care that I might get caught anymore. I just need to get out of here. My paws swing around wildly, feeling the walls, feeling ahead of me. I can't hear the thing behind me anymore, but that doesn't matter. I just killed a man, and something I can't explain happened right after, and I just can't understand. I run into another wall hard, and I randomly pick a direction, heading to the right again, still feeling around blindly with my torn up paws. Finally, my wits catch up with me, and I force myself to slow down, to stop making so much damn noise so that I can listen. It's quiet. Whatever it was that was following me isn't anymore, or it's just too far away. But as I'm listening, I do hear something, far back the way I came. I stutter. A stuttered, rhythmic sound, deep and scratchy. I don't know what it is. It grows in volume, and I press myself against the wall, paws up to my muzzle to keep from breathing too hard. It's far away, but it's getting so much louder that it's echoing up the tunnel. Then silence. I realize then that I'm crying, and I try to keep myself from sobbing, keep the sobs hitched to my chest. I can't remember the last time I cried. I'm frozen. I know that isn't Jack. Jack is dead, and something else was in the hollow with me. I just turn away from where the noise came from and start moving again. I'm walking this time, and even though the tears keep running down my face, I'm at least quiet. The complete, overwhelming fear that's settled into a dull, almost numb feeling in my chest. I aimlessly walk left and right each time I feel a new passage open up with my paw. While the sounds go away, the feeling that something is watching me never does. I think I wander for a few hours, maybe more. It's hard to keep track of the time when everything's black. But I must have gone all night, because what saves me is the sight of light pouring through the end of the tunnel. The one we came through. I moved toward it on instinct, not really feeling all that excited to see it. I'm relieved, but I'm numb, just like the fear. Oh. I think we're going to leave this part here, with Samuel just escaping the mines. Oh, what an exciting, prologue to this game. I like it a lot. But, yeah, really excited for the new update. Hopefully we'll catch up before it releases free or around the time. But, yeah, see you around, everyone.